am welcoming Naadira Tinsley.
One of the most beautiful things about this life is that how we start does not have to be how we finish. We may not control everything, but we are powerful. We have the power to overcome our obstacles and to achieve our goals. I was taught an important lesson in my sorority. I was taught to see an ideal, to seize upon it, and to follow it wherever it may lead. Your ideal would be a principle or a standard that you have in a certain area of your life. And these ideals differ from person to person, and they grow and they can change as we do. One exercise I like to do to make sure that I'm staying in line with my ideals is to close my eyes and focus on just one area of my life. And in that area, I think about what is my standard that I'm trying to attain? And then what goals do I have to accomplish along the way to achieve that? One of my ideals is that my passions that I have as I'm young should still be a part of my life as I get older. There's no reason that age needs to stop me from doing what I love. So as a part of that, one of my goals became to become a pro cheerleader, to become a professional dancer so that I can continue doing what I love. So I close my eyes and I envision this glowing ball of energy in front of me that represents these goals and ideals. And I just watch it float and float up and up above my head. And then I reach my arms up until I can feel that ball at my fingertips, but it's not enough to just touch it because I know what it represents. It's representing that energy that's going to push me and propel me through all of my journeys in life. So as soon as I can, I take a leap of faith and I grab that ball and pull it close to my chest. And I don't let it go. I let it follow me. Because if I can do that, then that's just a representation of what we do in our day-to-day. We define our ideals. We pursue the goals that will lead us to these ideals, and we reach and reach to try to attain them. And in life, things will try to take those ideals away from us, but we have to actively pursue them. We have to actively remember that we need to hold those tight. And it's not always easy to do. Personally, I have my favorite enemy. I like to say my best frenemy, and it's my worry monster. So I think of my fears and anxieties as an actual worry monster. How many of you have heard of Hercules fighting the Hydra? So the Hydra is a creature of Greek mythology. It has 8 or 9 snake heads. And I think of those snake heads with their poisonous breath and the vicious bite, just like negative thoughts and doubts that we let attack us. So Hercules decides to fight this monster. He takes his sword and he chops off the head. He takes another one, he chops off another head. But he's not actually stopping them at the source. So as each head is cut off, 2 more grow in its place. 2 more heads grow in place of each one that he chops off. So if you've ever felt overwhelmed, like a thick fog of doubt is clouding your mind, and these negative thoughts are piling and piling and piling on top of you, that's just like the Hydra's many heads multiplying and multiplying as you're trying to fight it. So eventually Hercules realizes, okay, I have to start at the root. I have to start at the source so that I can stop these heads from growing and I can finally defeat this monster. So he takes fire, and after he chops off one of the heads, he burns the stump so that those other 2 heads can't grow. Now, unfortunately, my worry monster is figurative, so I cannot burn it away. So I start at the root by shifting my mindset. And I'd like to share with you a portion of a poem that I learned in my sorority. We live every day in control of the attitude that we will embrace on that day. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing that we can do is play on the string that we have, and that is our attitude. I am convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. Take a moment and think about that ratio. Think about how many times in life things happen to us that are completely unavoidable. And then think about how many possibilities there are for our reaction. And furthermore, think of how much time passes in between these unavoidable moments. So if I'm really thinking of my life as being 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it, then, 10 versus 90, that's obvious math. That means I'm very in control of my destiny. And so I've used that mindset to defeat my worry monster. I've been able to shift my attitude from a place of fear and insecurity to a place of confidence and courage. So I used to be defeated by mean things that people would say, and I let bullies define me, and I didn't believe I was capable of being who I wanted to be or doing the things that I wanted to do. Even when I first auditioned for a professional cheerleading team, I walked into that audition still hearing those negative things, those negative perceptions and opinions. I wasn't really sure if I was all that beautiful. I knew I could dance, but I didn't think I was really good enough to try out for a professional team. Who was I kidding? So when I didn't make the team, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't the least bit disappointed because I had never believed I could do it from the start. But see, after that, I was fed up. I was tired of my own self-defeating attitude. And I decided, you know what? Let me get rid of my own mess. We have to get tired of our own mess before we can take the steps to change it. And so I decided that, you know what? If I can be so supportive of my friends and so supportive of celebrities, then I should be so supportive of myself. So I started to do this little exercise to force myself to do what I was uncomfortable with doing. I decided that every time a negative thought crossed my mind, I would tell myself the exact opposite. And I didn't try to justify it. I just claimed it, simple as that. Because I said it, it's true. So when I'm in a room full of dancers and I'm like, oh, I cannot do that jump, I cannot do that turn, what am I doing here? Like, am I really a good dancer? I immediately stop myself and say, hey, you are a great dancer and you deserve to be here, period. No justification needed. And I took that in other areas. When I'm getting ready in the morning, I'm thinking, oh, this outfit, this makeup, I'm not looking right today. No, you're beautiful, period. If I fail a test or can't answer a question, no, you're intelligent, period. And in doing that, I taught myself how to be self-supportive. So when it came time for an audition for another pro cheerleading team, at that point, I was a pro at telling myself that I was going to be my biggest fan. So I was excited. There had been a shift in the way that I thought about myself and the way that I thought about my doubts and opinions. So when I walked in that room, I wasn't thinking, oh, it's audition day. Let's hope I make it. Just do what I do, see how it turns out. I walked in with the biggest smile, with my shoulders back and my head tall, because this was the day that I was becoming a pro cheerleader. And no one can tell me anything else. This is the day. But see, the thing about that worry monster is that he likes to try to appear just when I'm feeling the best about myself and the best about my abilities. So as I'm saying, today is the day, I can't wait to get my pom-poms, the worry monster arises and he's like, hold up, girlfriend. What if they don't pick you? What if you mess up, forget the choreography? What if you just fall? Because I have fallen in auditions before. And that's where I remembered that shift in my mindset. I remembered that 10% versus 90%. And I said, you know what? That worry monster is right. What if I don't make the team? That's just 10%. I can't control if the judges pick me, but I can control what I bring to the table. And so I control what I wear. I control how I look, how I dance, how I smile, my energy level. All of these things build to that 90%. So realizing that I was in control, I put my best foot forward. I didn't give up on myself. I gave my all. And that evening, I did become a Washington Castles cheerleader. I had achieved that goal in pursuit of my ideal of continuing my passion for dance throughout the rest of my life. I realized that I am only as strong as I allow myself to be. And you can take that same process with you, that you are as strong as you allow yourself to be. If you shift your mindset from a place of insecurity and fear to a place of confidence and courage, then you have the strength to pursue your goals. And by pursuing your goals, you are that much closer to achieving your overall ideal. So once you have attained that bit of your success, just follow it. Remember to not let anything take you off the path of following your ideals. And there's nothing ahead of you but success. And I wish you all the best success.
Awesome. You guys having a good time? Yes, excellent. That was awesome. So I want to share with you this story, though. It's a story about a little boy out in the Midwest who wanted to see an eagle fly. So he gets a pair of binoculars and goes out to a large open field, and he's watching, and finally he spots an eagle. And the eagle is flying higher and higher and higher. Then all of a sudden, the eagle stops in midair. And it begins to fall and flap and fall and flap and fall and flap. Finally, it disappears out of sight. And the little boy says to himself, what happened to the eagle? Did someone shoot the eagle? I didn't hear a gun. And the little boy walks for about a mile in order to find where the eagle had landed. And finally, he found the eagle. The eagle is laid down, nose in the dirt. The eagle is dead. And the little boy says to himself, what killed the eagle? Little boy turns the eagle over, and there, affixed to the eagle's chest, is a weasel, a little animal. And the weasel has bitten into the heart of the eagle. And the little boy says to himself, now I see what happened to the eagle. The eagle had picked up a weasel and did not let it go. And that's very symbolic to our lives, because every single day of our lives, we all pick up weasels. And weasels come in many different forms. There are weasels in the form of negative thoughts, weasels in the form of bad habits, weasels in the form of unhealthy addictions, weasels in the form of fears and worries and stress and frustration and anger. We all pick up weasels. And if we don't drop the weasels will drop us. Drop the weasels. Let go of the weasels. Let go of things that are trying to eat at you. Let go of things that are trying to separate you from your source of peace and joy. Let them go, because either you drop them or they will drop you.